Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan Ekovich, your host and coach. Today, we're going to be diving into that nutrition sector, and we're going to dive deep into not just what we should be eating, but how we can meal prep and plan and create a habit out of it for even the busiest of women. Biggest thing that I see people get caught up in is we get all gung-ho of I'm going to meal prep, I'm going to meal plan, I'm going to be super successful. And we take on the entire strategy and process up front. And then we realize we can do it once, and then we can do it every once in a while. But on a weekly basis, it's too much too fast. Just like anything else when it comes to creating a habit. We need to know the process, how to implement it, and start at the beginning, create a habit with that first step, and build on it. Some of the misconceptions or the problems I see people run up against is they tend to prep before they plan. It may sound simple, like, why would somebody prep their food before they plan it? It's common. We just get in the habit of doing, okay, I'm going to cut the veggies. I'm going to ground up the beef. And then we have this food, but we don't have a plan on how we're going to use it. Today, I'm just going to hit on the main ones that I really think are going to make a huge difference in your life and creating that habit. The first start of creating your habit is putting it on your calendar. What day and what time are you sitting down for 30 minutes to create your plan for the week? The more often and the more frequent you do it, the less time it's going to take you because you'll have a rotation of foods, you'll have your staples created. There's a lot of things that up front take a longer amount of time, but once you get in the habit of doing it, they take less time. So I recommend setting aside 30 minutes. And this is just for creating your plan. Make sure you've got time to grocery shop based on your plan. Put it on your calendar as a reoccurring. Yes, there are things that happen in life where, I can't always do it Sundays at 9 a.m. That just means each week you have to reevaluate. Make sure you've got time set aside. Second thing you need to do, and this is the thing that people get caught up in, is we try to plan for all of our meals and all of our snacks. Pull out your calendar or planner, and ideally your sheet should say Sunday through Saturday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Before filling this out, mark off anything already planned. For instance, dinner with the girls on Wednesday. Great. You don't have to worry about dinner for yourself. Can everybody else in the family have leftovers? Or do you are somebody that lives alone and you don't have to plan for anybody else? Great. Check it off. Mark off those things first. We're out of town Saturday and Sunday. We don't need to worry about meals, but we need to make sure we've got good car snacks. Or maybe Friday night is always pizza night. You're writing down pizza for dinner, but maybe you want to add a side salad. Make sure you've got the ingredients. So you make sure to make that clear that main dish is covered, but you still have to do a side. First thing that you should do when filling out your meal prep and planning schedule is write the things that you don't have to worry about. Because then what that leaves is the blanks, and it has you then determine, what do you have to worry about? Okay, I need 3 snacks this week. I need 3 dinners and 5 breakfast. Can I make a big dish that will work for breakfast all week long? Or are we doing individual breakfast each day? Same with dinner. Can I make double amount of spaghetti and meatballs on Monday? And can that also be lunch on Tuesday and Wednesday? Reduce cooking, prepping, and cleaning throughout the week by making double the amounts to cover your lunches. Or maybe you're not a leftover person and it does take a little more intention to say, okay, dinner's going to look this way because I've got to have something different each night. I know a lot of you are variety people. You need something different all the time. Some of you are like, I could eat the same thing every single day my entire life and it would not faze me. We are all different. Once you've filled out your plan, that is then where you make sure that you've got everything you need and everything you don't have goes on a grocery list. Then you schedule when you're going to go to the grocery store. I've got a client who does grocery pickups. She does the order. with the pickup she's going to do the next morning. She schedules it then. Maybe you are somebody who you've got your list, you're just going to go. You've already planned in your schedule. The thing about creating this habit, just like any other habit, is I can give you the framework, but there are tweaks because your lifestyle is different from mine. So when we're creating that foundation, we have to do this foundational basis before we even start prepping, before we even start cooking and freezing and doing all that. You have to have some sort of a plan, because if not, you can have all this food prepped, but you're not reducing that decision fatigue during the week by just saying, well, now I've got ground beef. What do I make with that? Look at your plan. What's that ground beef being used for? What's that ground turkey being used for? What's that chicken in the fridge being used for? The point of meal prepping is to reduce decision fatigue and give us better options to fuel our body throughout the day. Let's skip to the preparation part. Some people are not leftover people, and I totally understand that. If you're somebody who doesn't like leftovers and you don't want to eat things out of the Tupperware and it's already cooked and I just have to put it in the microwave, all of that, if you don't want to be prepping like that, don't prep like that. You don't have to. There's no rule that says meal prep has to look like eating out of Tupperware containers of food that is chicken, rice, and veggies that you're going to eat the same thing the next 45 days. What I suggest though is starting with your fruits and your veggies, things that typically are going to go bad in your house, things that we want to make sure are accessible for us to reach, things that we grab for something else because of the, oh, I have to wash it, I have to peel it, I have to pull it off the vine. Some of those things that we feel like, oh, it really isn't that big of a deal. But in the moment when we need a snack, it's a big deal. So in the prepping stage, when you bring home grapes on the vine, I recommend pulling them off the vine, getting them washed and putting them in a bowl where you can easily pull them out and grab a handful. Maybe you're going to pre-Ziploc baggie all of your food so that, oh, I can just grab this when I'm running out the door and you don't have to portion them out in the morning. I recommend doing 30 minutes. You may get one thing done or you may be able to get 30 things done. Depends on how many people you rope into this process and what your family's lifestyle looks like. For me to make this fun, I put in my AirPods and I either listen to music or I put on a show and I set my timer for 30 minutes and see how much I can get through. I peel my carrots because I buy big carrots. I wash them, put them in Ziploc baggies. I pull my grapes off the vine. Any of my apples, I know I like them cold. So if I know I'm going to be somewhere where I'm not going to be able to eat an apple with the core, I'll cut them up, put a little bit of lemon juice, throw them in a baggie. For home, keep it on the counter like a candy jar. Same with your hummus. If you buy a big Costco hummus, pre-portion that. Make life simple so they're grab and go snacks. Fruits and vegetables in their natural form are not. There is some washing, peeling, cutting, divining. Make them grab and go snacks that you want to grab. Single serve yogurts are also great. Yes, they're pricier than the big container of yogurt, but if you don't have little containers to put your yogurt in or your cottage cheese, just buy single serves until you get in the habit of, okay, I can set aside time. I can pre-portion my yogurt. I can pre-portion my cottage cheese. That also gives you intention. And when you are grabbing something out of the fridge, you know I'm grabbing a carb, I'm grabbing a protein, I've got some healthy fats, things that our body needs. Other things you can prep, buy a block of cheese and cut it up. You can buy some venison or some sausage. You can add some crackers. You can make your own Lunchable. All of these go into containers really nicely. Ideally, the crackers you'll probably want in a bag, not in the fridge, or making sure it doesn't touch your meat and cheese. If you have spinach, put a paper towel in there, flip it upside down, get that moisture out of there that will make your spinach last longer. That falls into prepping to make food last longer and to make it as easy grab and go as possible. The final thing when it comes to prepping that I'm going to talk about today is proteins. I am somebody who will eat ground beef warmed up all day long. I'll eat chicken. Chicken's not my favorite rewarmed unless it's cooked a certain way. For instance, shredded chicken is my favorite because I make it in the Instapot. I put 2 to 5 chicken breasts with a couple cups of water, season with salt, pepper, and whatever else I want, pressurize on high for 40, 45 minutes. I drain the water, grab my hand mixer, shred the chicken, and I've got plain chicken that I can turn into chicken salad, turn into a wrap that we can eat for dinner with barbecue bowls. We can make it into taco bowls, but that is my favorite protein to prep. It lasts all week and I don't have to worry about cooking. You can start it, make your other stuff, and then finish it. You don't have to actively be cooking it. The other thing is if you are somebody who buys meat in bulk, let's say you buy this huge thing of ground beef, you need to freeze it. You might as well cook it, depending on what you're going to use it for. I usually like to cook it. Once it's cooled, I will put it in portions. Mike and I do about 8 ounces. So we each have 4 ounces. I'll do 8 ounces in a Ziploc baggie, pull the air out, freeze it. Already cooked meat in the freezer. If we forget to pull the meat out in the morning to defrost, we're not having tacos for dinner. When it's cooked, it defrosts faster. You can always crumble and reheat in the pan when it's still a little bit frozen, and you're not going to make yourself sick because it's already cooked. You can season it, you can keep it plain, whatever that looks like. But if you've got a bulk thing of chicken and beef coming in and you want just some pre-made proteins that you can have in your freezer or fridge, those are my favorites. Having protein on hand is important. The tub of yogurt is going to be cheaper than buying individuals. But if you don't have the bandwidth right now to actually pre-portion that yogurt, buy the single serves. Maybe you're going to buy protein drinks to have on hand because breakfast is a challenge. Maybe you're going to make quiches. Maybe you're going to make breakfast burritos. You can prep and freeze just about anything. I work with my clients with this so that we can create big portions of things that allow the week to go easier. I never tell people to start with big meals, only because they don't always reheat nicely, which means we're not going to eat it and we're going to want to have something else that's not as great for us. But I tell people to start with your fruits, veggies, make all of those go-to snacks easily and accessible so that there is no barrier when it comes to needing to grab and go. Same thing with trail mix. I love trail mix. Almonds, cashews, walnuts, and a little bit of dark chocolate is my favorite. I get it from Aldi. I buy the big bag and then I pre-portion into cups in the cupboard that allows me to know how much I am having. Trail mix is something we'll overconsume. Nuts are great, but just like anything, if we sit there and eat half a bag, it's not going to make us feel great. Having portion control allows us to become more aware of what we are eating and how much we are eating. When creating this habit, we want to boil it down to the simplest thing you can do every week and then build on it. So for the first couple weeks, all you are going to do, you're going to get out your calendar or planner, get out your sheet that says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. You're going to fill out the days and the meals you don't have to worry about. That is your first step. The second part you'll need to be successful with that meal plan is making sure you've gone to the grocery store and have on hand everything you need. In our boot camp, I talk about how to use what's in your house first. So feel free to check that out. It's in the show notes. Once that feels good, set a timer for 30 minutes and prep your fruits, veggies, and grab and go snacks. Portion out your hummus, portion out your trail mix, portion out your yogurt. Do that type of stuff next. Think about what proteins, veggies, pastas, rices, or noodles that you can make ahead of time that reheat that you and your family enjoy. I feel like I have to say that because if you are unsure if your family likes it, only make a small portion and try it first. Some people like rice reheated, some don't. Some people like noodles. Chickpea noodles, in my opinion, do not reheat very well. So I will not make chickpea noodles in advance. Normal white noodles, I will make those in advance. Rice, I will. Potatoes are another thing. I'll cook my potatoes almost all the way. I'll roast them. And then each time I want to reheat them, I just pop them in the air fryer. After a couple weeks and you feel like you're being successful, add that next step on. This process gets easier, faster, more efficient. It becomes fun, and it should only take about an hour a week, aside from grocery shopping. Actual prepping and planning should take you no more than an hour a week. Putting it on your calendar, making it an appointment to yourself, just like your workouts, just like your doctor's appointments. As we talked about how to make meal prepping and planning a habit, we broke it down small. Even when I feel like I'm off track or I've been redirected in my path, I come back. Okay, we just got to plan. Got to go back to planning. Okay, great. I've been successful at planning. Now what? Now to start doing those fruits and vegetables in. Good. Perfect. Now I can prep the protein. I've never met anybody who can do this consistently for 52 weeks out of the year. So if you feel like you've had a hiccup, see where you can get back on track. If you've had a hiccup for multiple weeks, go back to step one. Get yourself reacclimated. Life happens, and we just have to remember what works and where we have to start and re-show up. So until next time, make sure to check out those show notes. Let me know what questions you have, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I hope you feel more empowered and ready to tackle your wellness goals. If you have any questions or topics, send me a message. Subscribe and leave a review to help us reach more women. Until next time, take control of your wellness and keep empowering yourself